Have you ever wondered why we say go, went and gone instead of goed? Welcome to today's video where we'll unravel the world of irregular verbs in English. So, what exactly are irregular verbs? Unlike regular verbs which follow a predictable pattern in their past tense and past participle forms, irregular verbs, as the name suggests, do not follow a set pattern. They switch things up, making them a bit of a challenge to master. Think about verbs like eat, which turns into ate and eaten, or see that becomes saw and seen. These verbs don't tack on an ed or d for their past forms. And why does this matter? Well, using irregular verbs correctly can greatly enhance your command of the English language, making your conversations and writings more fluent and natural. So, if go becomes went, how many other English verbs change like this? Let's find out. Dive into the pool of irregular verbs. Don't worry, you won't drown. Let's start with the verb go. The base form is go, the past simple is went, and the past participle is gone. For instance, you might say, yesterday I went to the park, or I've gone to the park many times. Next up is the verb be. The base form is be, but it changes based on the subject and tense. In the present it can be am, is or are, while in the past it can be was or were. The past participle is been. For example, I am happy today, they were at the beach last summer, or we have been to Paris twice. Then we have. The base form is have, the past simple is had, and the past participle is also had. In a sentence, you might say, I have a cat named Whiskers, I had a dog when I was young, or I have had many interesting experiences in my life. Moving on to do. The base form is do, the past simple is did, and the past participle is done. Some examples of this verb in use are, I do my homework every evening, yesterday I did all my chores, and I have done my best to explain irregular verbs. Finally, let's look at say. The base form is say, the past simple is said, and the past participle is said. For instance, I say hello to my neighbours every morning. He said he would be late. Or I have said it before, and I'll say it again. These examples just scratch the surface. There are many more irregular verbs in the English language, each with its own unique set of forms, but don't let that intimidate you. With practice, you'll master them in no time. With these examples, you can see that irregular verbs don't follow the regular ed ending in the past tense. Ready for more? Here are some more irregular verbs to add to your vocabulary. Let's kick things off with see. The base form is see, past simple is saw, and past participle is seen. So you might say, yesterday I saw a movie. It's the best movie I've seen this year. Notice how saw is used when the action happened in the past, and seen is used when the action has a connection to the present. Next up is eat. The base form is eat, past simple is ate, and past participle is eaten. Here's how you can use it in a sentence. I ate pasta for dinner last night. It's the best pasta I've ever eaten. Once again, ate is used when referring to a completed action in the past, and eaten connects the past action to the present. Moving on to drink. The base form is drink, past simple is drank, and past participle is drunk. You might say, I drank a cup of coffee this morning. It's the strongest coffee I've ever drunk. Now let's look at write. The base form is write, past simple is wrote, and past participle is written. For instance, I wrote a letter to my friend yesterday. It's the longest letter I've ever written. Finally, we have bring. The base form is bring, past simple is brought, and past participle is also brought. A potential sentence could be, I brought an umbrella with me today. It's the same umbrella I've brought for the past 2 weeks. Note that all these verbs change form from the base to the past simple, and again to the past participle. This makes them irregular, as they don't follow the regular ed ending pattern we see in regular verbs. Starting to see the pattern? Well, hold that thought. Time to wrap up our journey through the world of irregular verbs. These are the verbs that toss the regular ed ending rule out the window. They change forms in unpredictable ways, and that's what makes them stand out. We've walked through numerous examples today, from go becoming went, see changing to saw, to think transforming into thought. Each of these verbs has its own unique pattern, or rather lack of one. This inconsistency is what gives them the title irregular. It might seem daunting at first, but don't let that discourage you. The key to mastering them lies in frequent usage and memorization. The more you use these verbs in your conversations, the more familiar you'll become with their patterns. Let's not forget the magic of repetition. It's through repeating these verbs that they'll eventually become ingrained in your memory. Remember, practice makes perfect. Keep using these irregular verbs in your daily conversations and soon they'll become second nature to you. Until our next English adventure, keep practicing.